Here we go. All right. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Agent Outreach Live. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is like literally one of my favorite lives and favorite calls I do throughout the entire month. For those that don't know, I'm literally doing trainings all day, every day inside of my real estate community, my trainings, and all of our mentorship stuff at Agent Investors. But this is one of the favorite. The reason being is because I actually get to practice what I preach, and a lot of it is just truly off the cuff. There is no script. There is no rules. Well, I guess there's rules. YouTube doesn't allow us to show personal information. But aside from that one rule, we have a great time. We get to enjoy. We get to call agents. We get to try to get deals and build relationships. And I get to do it with an amazing co-host, Landry Morby. Landry, I appreciate you. And as I'm rambling, how's everything going?
Yeah, pretty good. This is also a show that I look forward to, and hopefully some of you guys are here from the community today. I know I invited you guys on short notice. I feel like time just goes by so fast, and I feel like the time between the shows, because we used to do this every week, sometimes it feels like it's been way longer than a month, but I definitely look forward to it. So I'm excited for today's show.
I appreciate that. And yesterday you texted me, you're like, what market should we do? And I totally blanked. And so I texted you back this morning and I said, surprise me. You were looking at, I think it was like Iowa or Indiana and Kansas.
Idaho. I was like, let's just do something.
Turned into like, you said there was only like 5 or 10 agents that
literally
are actually like closing deals out there. Yeah. So we want to kind of throw this back a little bit. We have 2 different markets that Landry pulled information for. And so this is a live show and I want to make this as interactive as possible and also prove the bullshit out there that throw me in anywhere in the country and I'll go get deals from realtors. So if you guys don't mind voting here, put it in the comments between Houston and Nashville. Number 1 for Houston, number 2 for Nashville. Where should I call today? Again, that is number 1 for Houston, number 2 for Nashville. What I'm doing here for those that maybe are like, what is this guy with a snapback and barely a beard talking about today? I call realtors to try to get opportunities. You know, I always say that the hardest part of being a real estate agent is to find a client. The hardest part of being a real estate investor is to find a deal. So if we can bridge the gap between agents and investors, I play on both sides. I'm an agent and an investor, just like how a lot of people in our community are too. The goal is to be able to do more business. One thing, and I'm going to go on just a quick little tangent here, Landry, and then would love to do a demo of Batch.
Okay, awesome.
One reason why I am as, I'd say, persistent on this side of things is because of my own experiences. You know, there's a lot of bullshit out there, and I'm going to keep using that word today. There's a lot of bullshit out there when it comes to real estate education and gurus and mentorship and all this stuff. You know, most people won't tell you that it could take a long time to get your first deal. I mean, for some people, it's 6 to 12 months. We've got it down to where it should be less than 90 days. But with that said, it can be anywhere from day 1, week 1, month 1, 3 months, 90 days, 6 months, 12 months, some people even over a year. You know, I was talking to someone a few weeks ago that was telling me that they've been studying real estate for years, whatever that means. So with that said, why am I getting in this like topic? Because I don't want people to make the same mistakes that I made. You don't need to go spend $20,000 in mentorships and systems and processes. What you need to do is pick a strategy and stay to it. For me, it's always been agent outreach and MLS that I could find success in. And that's after trying to go direct to sellers, spending a bunch of money. So the reason we call agents is to try to get opportunities without having to break the bank. And that leads me to why Landry's awesome in being here and why it makes sense. We use batch leads. So if you guys aren't familiar with it, I actually use batch leads to pull data of agents. This is a bulk skip tracing move. This used to be something that 1, wasn't even offered with batch, and 2, if you wanted to pull a record, it was 1 by 1 and it costed every time. Now you could go in and contact as many realtors as you want, and you could pull the list of as many realtors as you want and go through them, right? So all that said, that's what we do. We don't go crazy. I'm not pulling 10, 20, 30,000 realtors a month. I'm pulling a couple thousand. If you don't break down what your daily routine should be or how many conversations you should be having, reverse engineer how many you think you should have and how many calls you think it's going to take to have those conversations. And all of a sudden, if you do this 5 days a week, you wouldn't be surprised to realize you only need a couple thousand leads. Most people that are direct to seller, or even let me rephrase this, realtors going and finding buyers and sellers, generate at most a couple hundred leads. So to have a software like Batch where you could actually pull as many as you would like, that's the hack. And Landry, I would love for you to demo if you can. We could show people how we filter this out. I could make the argument a million different ways, but we stay consistent every time we pull this list for this show specific. Yep. So that way you guys can at least get an idea of how you could filter it out too.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me show it to you guys. We are going to have it blurred, but you guys can always get into the communities to check it out. Of course, in our help center, all that good stuff where you can actually see it. And honestly, if you just go in there and you just type in a location, you'll see how it works just like that. That's how easy it is. And that's what I love so much about it, is because there is a lot of, there can be a lot of difficulty in software in general when you're trying to have it help you in your business. But when you can just type in a place and then just say, show me all the information I need, that's what I love. So this is what it kind of looks like to give you guys an idea of this. Okay, here's my entire screen.
Very good.
But
now we got to blur it out.
Yeah, so they're basically, some of it is cut off on here because I have my table configuration cut off so I can send it to Ryan a little bit easier. But basically what we do when you come into agent outreach, it really only takes me a few seconds. And like Ryan talked about earlier, we do the same thing. And I think about it every single time we pull the list of agents about why we haven't changed the filters. But I think it was like the first or second time on the show that we figured out it was just a really good list of agents, and that goes for every market. So when you go into the agent search area, you can go into this filters tab. And it's kind of blocked off here. Actually, I should be able to use some of it. But you can basically filter out the area, the sold listing count. I think it'll be okay this way. But it'll have things like the amount of listings that they have sold, listed, what their average listing price is, anything that you need to know and find out about agents. You can filter it out and just pull the list. So typically what we do is in the past 6 months, agents that have sold like a minimum of 3 or maybe 3 to 5 listings, and we'll just kind of pull up that list. And then we'll do active listing count of 3 or more. It's being a little finicky right now, but really easy. And that's what we do every single time, just those 2 filters to pull up really great agents. I think, Ryan, we've had like 5 agents that haven't been good conversations, maybe in the over the year we've done it.
I was going to say, I don't really feel like there's really any bad conversations. Maybe you could count on one hand the amount that it just didn't work out, or they were not going to be someone I'd want to do business with. But aside from that, everything is very easy to work. It's very good conversations. Think about it. Most of the struggle that realtors go through every day is finding qualified buyers and sellers. So if all I have to do is qualify as a client to them, why not? That's what this game is. And on top of that, the icing on top, I'll just say, is pick your poison. You want to go direct to seller, fine. You're going to get cussed out all day, every day, and you're going to spend a lot of time and money. If you want to go work with agents, it's completely fine. It's not like you're going to snap your fingers and one conversation is one deal. But if you have enough good conversations in a day, you're starting to stack the wins, and that's consistency that we like to see. So with that, our goal is just to pull back the curtain, have you guys see the software, the exact same stuff that we're using. And in fact, the list that I'm calling through today, what Landry just put together on that filter is the exact list she sends to me. So if you're wanting to follow along, and if you're in agent investors in one of these markets, what I always do, as I'm calling through these, I'm always happy to make sure you know when I do these calls, I want to pass any of these leads along to you as well. So if you're a realtor or an investor in agent investors and this is your market, please feel free to message me, and I will make sure that you have the contact of the person that I spoke to live.
Yeah, and something that we haven't showed, you guys will see it if you play around with it or if you've already been using it or used it in the past. But when you, we can't show it on here, but when you go and click on it, you'll be able to see all of the details, including their actual listings that they have currently active on the MLS, what's expired, what's currently pending that you can actually bring as talking points to these agents. And like Ryan was talking about earlier, the contact information is already there built in. And then when you save them into your account, you're also able to manage them here. So we talk about it on every episode, I feel like, but especially for those of you getting started, if you need a CRM, of course, great. But a lot of the time, at least the people I talk to within the community, it's so much nicer being able to keep it in one place and then, take your notes on the agent, keep track of the status so that you can follow up with them and really build those relationships. So you guys can do it all in this page, which is nice. You don't have to feel like you need to spread out all of your data and have things fall through the cracks, especially as you don't maybe have a CRM or a different tool to kind of help you manage it. You can do a lot of it just right here in Batch Leads, which is great.
100%. And I see a lot of comments here too. What's up, Fausto? Love that. If you guys are in this live session, introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What are you looking for? Just like I got done a minute ago saying that I want to make sure that anyone in Agent Investors gets the benefit. This is also for everyone here live. This is a free show. This is free training, free access. Utilize it to your advantage and get as many connections and relationships as you can. Cool.
Awesome. Did people vote, by the way? Oh, let's see. What did we say? Was it one for Houston?
One was Houston, 2 is Nashville. So we've got Houston as a clear winner for sure. Cool. For sure. What's up, Rodney? Mark, this is recorded. It's on YouTube, so you can watch the replay. I also upload it inside of our school community afterwards. What's up, Alfie? Fausto again, appreciate you. Rodney, thank you. There's a reason I'm in real estate making a bunch of money and not in education. I do not care about grammar. So if that's what we're worrying about here, I am probably not the person to listen to. I cuss, I don't speak properly, but I make a lot of money. Pocket, what's up? How many conversations should we aim to have per day to get a deal if you're brand new? You got to get comfortable making mistakes. So don't take what I'm going to do on this show and say, that's it. That's all I got to do in a day. 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 conversations. This has to be something where you're going to be comfortable getting uncomfortable, which is how many hours do you have in a day? Let's not put a number amount, quantity on how many conversations you should have. When people on my team say that, I ask if they're just going to set the bar here and hit every single day. If I'm going to tell you it has to be 10 offers a day or 25 conversations and you're going to do the bare minimum of what's required, you got to find what works for you. So what we see very average is going to be 10-ish offers, 5 to 10 per day, conversations minimum of about 20 to 25. Realistically, getting up to 40, 50, 60 conversations or more, if possible, is always going to just lead to more opportunities. Mark, this does not just apply to investors that have a real estate license. About 75% of the people that are in my community and that do this strategy, and that's just numbers off of what I can see, are not licensed. The ones that are licensed have more advantage. We can represent ourselves and get commission. We could list our own properties. We can get referrals. We have access to the MLS. There's a lot more benefit to it, but it's not required. Only disclaimer I have is at a certain point in time, wholesaling regulation will pop up. And when that does come, you'll need a real estate license most likely. So just stay on the lookout for your brokerage or not brokerage, your market requirements and wholesale disclosures, and then just stay within those guidelines. Appreciate you, Rodney. Let's rock and roll. All right. We are calling through Houston.
Awesome.
And then Landry, I ask you this question every time. I should probably know the answer by now, but the top one is their cell phone number.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
We are calling Timothy. By the way, I'd like to make sure I get everyone all ready for this. Do what you got to do before you make a call, right? If you got to walk around, if you got to do some jumping jacks, if you got to go walk around the block, whatever it is, let's do it. Just make sure you're in the right headspace as you're making these calls.
Do hold on 1 second with this, okay, with this list.
You're good. I'll answer this question real quick from Luis. He says, just got a buyer to make offers. How do you fill out the buyer broker agreement? By making sure that they're on the same page, that any deal they bring to me is exclusive to them. So if you bring me an address, Mr. or Miss Realtor, you are my agent in that transaction if you choose to be, or I could cut you in a percentage of my profit. That's how I operate. And then from there, if they're like, well, wait, you're a realtor, or why is this exclusive? It's because I'm a realtor. It's because I have other people that bring me deals. Usually I refer to friends or family friends that are licensed. And if they bring me 2 or 3 deals a year, I'm not going to pay the agent that is doing the buyer broker agreement for just maybe 1 transaction this year. So I just set the expectation up front like that. And then aside from that, they just need to have no ego and they need to get to work. A lot of this comes down to just results. It's not anything personal. And most realtors that won't sign a buyer broker or won't send you one that's non-exclusive is because they don't know any better. So I just like to give the story that I have other realtors that bring me deals, and it's not thousands. They don't need to get overwhelmed, but I have a lot of realtors that I work with, and I have family friends and friends of friends that are realtors. So non-exclusive is how I operate. Aside from that, they're going to fill it out just standard. Who you are, how long the agreement is, what's included in the terms, compensation. This is a new one. Is the seller going to compensate? It's not offered. So you have to request it. And if the seller says, no, I'm not willing to pay your agent, Luis, maybe this is your agent specific, we're not going to pay Luis's agent any buyer broker commission or compensation. Sorry. No worries. I completely understand. That's fine. But then what happens? They're going to refer back to the buyer broker, which is going to clearly state you paid them X. Is this $500? Is this 1%? Is this 2%? The main thing is that you don't over promise, under deliver. Meaning I can't give you 3% on a buyer broker. If, let's just use one example, a $300,000 house comes up, seller does not compensate my agent, 3% goes to buyer's agent from my pocket. But if I wholesaled this deal for 10 grand, the realtor representing me just made 9 grand and I made 1,000. That doesn't work. So most of my buyer brokers are flat fee. They're a small 0.5%, 1% commitment. And usually we bank on the seller paying the compensation. And if they don't, more likely, I don't want my commission or compensation agreement to be enforced. I want to just cut them in on the deal. So that way it's all a win for everybody. Usually the compensation in buyer broker is less than what I could offer if it was just out of my wholesale fee. Mark says, thanks for answering. I've never had my license, bought lots of property, new here, always learning new things. Love it. Check out our free school. We have a whole training on how to do this to get started, and it gives you a tip of the iceberg. Plus you can network and collab with a bunch of people inside of our community. And then Brody says, do you use Investor Lift to find deals? No. We use Batch in the MLS. Okay. Landry, do you send me a new?
Yeah, here, try this. This is going to have some excess info, but my system is being a little funky and it was showing me people that I think we've called before. So
I got you.
It will show you some extra info in this, but should be the same idea with, if anything, you just have more info on their brokerage and stuff. So
sweet. Let's call Ann.
And I'll send you some more. I think there's like 15 in
this. Is all Houston, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do the above one, but this one is good.
Williams Platinum. My name is Kristen. How may I help you?
Hey, Kristen. I was just calling. I think I was trying to call one of the agents at the office, but it's all good. Do you happen to have an agent that is in the office right now that works with investors?
Right at the moment, I do not.
Okay. There's no agents in the office?
We have agents in the office. I'm not sure. Hold on. Let me think. Give me one moment. I'm going to put you on a brief hold.
Mm-hmm. I don't like getting strong-armed by the receptionists, but it happens. It's okay. And Mark, you came here from school. Awesome job. Appreciate that. I'm glad you were able to find the link from school. The whole goal with everything is to keep it all in one consistent circle. And by the way, context on this specific, I called the number that we thought was going to be cell, ends up being the office line. That happens. It's okay. Some realtors, just so you know, when they put their information in, they put the office line. Why? Your guess is as good as mine. It's absolutely useless because now this realtor is missing out on business and a relationship because they put the office line. Some people think their time is more valuable than others. Some people just don't know any better. Some people are taught this way. There's a lot of different variables. So that's why I don't jump in saying I'm looking for so-and-so. I've done that and it works, but realistically, I got a hold of a receptionist. Get me your best agent in the office right now and let's have a good conversation. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's Ann, it doesn't matter if it's the receptionist. I just need it to be somebody that can work with me that also understands what I'm trying to do. And there you go, Fausto, hit it right on the head. He said they don't really want to work. It's because they think that they're just going to have their phone ring and a bunch of opportunities are going to come in. And look, don't get me wrong. I love that. If it is fortunate enough to be the situation. Most people have to work for money and they have to work for clients and they have to work from the bottom up. And so unfortunately, the phone just doesn't ring the minute you get a real estate license. In fact, welcome to Real Estate 101. You are now in marketing and sales. And if you don't know how to do that, you're probably not going to succeed in real estate. Or if you're not open-minded and coachable, you're not going to succeed. Hey, Kathy. I think I called the wrong number originally. I was trying to find an agent in the office and I got a hold of the receptionist. I'm trying to find someone that could assist with purchasing some properties in Houston.
Well, I can certainly do that. Do you want residential or commercial?
Residential.
Okay. Do you know where you want and the price point and all that good stuff?
You know, honestly, that's kind of why I'm at this point right now. I have some family out in Houston, and what I'm trying to do is fix and flip. I've got all my ducks in a row. You know, I've got family out there that can go visit properties if needed. I've got contractors lined up. We've got a couple recommendations of title companies. I haven't used them yet, but we have all of our stuff, even contractors. The only piece I'm missing is like a realtor that could possibly help me out with some of the, I don't know, insight. I need help with just making sure my comps are correct. I would love to have someone I could rely on that could write up some contracts every now and then. And then whenever we flip a property, if they could list it for us, that'd be awesome too.
Sounds like a winner. I can do all those things.
Sweet. And do you work with investors, or are you an investor?
I'm an investor.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. What's your name?
My name is Ryan. Oh. I'm out in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm local out here. That's where I primarily fix and flip and have some rentals and all that fun stuff. But I'm trying to just branch out a little bit. I've been doing some research, and Houston seems to be a really hot market going into 2025. So if I can kind of get established at the beginning of the year, it would hopefully set me up to at least be able to do 3 to 4 flips next year.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, I mean, Houston is, because we've got the injection of the medical center and oil and gas, we're usually pretty insulated. I think back in the 80s, maybe we weren't so insulated, but yeah, prices are not terrible here, and it's a good lifestyle, and I've been here a long time. I'm sorry, can you spell your last name for me again?
Yep. It is Zolin.
Zolin. Okay. I am actually in a meeting right now. Can I give you a call back a little bit later?
Yeah, I'm going to be around. My whole goal is that I'm trying to get all set up. I don't know if it's realistic to get something before the end of the year, but if not at this point, maybe going into the beginning of next year, we'd be able to get something in January. Do you think that's something that'd be realistic?
Closed?
Yeah, that'd be ideal. We're paying cash, so I don't really need like a 30-day close, but yeah.
Maybe if you start a few days, I mean, it's still possible. I know I've been at one time. I closed on a house on December 31st at 10:30 at night. Believe me or not, there actually was a title company that was there, and we did it. So it's
that was a lie.
Slim possibility, but always possible.
Cool.
So yeah, let me finish my meeting. My name is Kathy, and
cool.
I'll give you a call back a little later on.
Sounds good. You got my cell phone number?
Cool.
Okay. All right.
Great.
We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
You think so? I believe.
Yeah, that was a lie. That was 100% a lie. Title companies aren't open at 10:30 at night. And I appreciate the naive thought that I'm dumb. Most agents say stuff to make themselves sound better or cooler to try to relate to a client, which I understand. No disrespect to Kathy. The disrespect here was that I actually wrote down her name as Karen. So you don't even need to know who you're really talking to as you're making these calls, as long as they are open-minded and motivated, which most realtors are, if they answer the phone. She's fine. She just tried relating to me there by saying, oh yeah, believe it or not, on December 31st, I actually had a title company close a deal at 10:30 at night. No, because it's recorded with a county. So counties aren't open recording documents at midnight. I appreciate that, and that's cool. That's whatever she has to say there. I'm not going to judge her based on that. I'm just looking at the results. That's why I dismissed that comment and I jumped right into the whole, well, let me ask you, do you think it's realistic to get something before the end of the year or January? I'm trying to move quick here. I don't have time to sit around and shoot the shit about some deal that you think you closed at 10:30 at night on New Year's Eve. If that's what you want to talk about, I would love to hear more about that story when we grab coffee virtually on a Zoom as we close our first deal together. That's what I like to hear stories in. Aside from that, time is money and nobody has time or money to waste. So cool.
Love it. But yeah, Mark, just like that, an investor that's an agent too.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best part. I just like, are you an investor too? Do you work with investors? She's like, I am an investor. Okay, cool. The only other step I could have done was ask, what do you do? Do you actually flip? Do you buy rentals? She went into her whole sales pitch mode of, we have oil, gas, this. It's all just gentrification. That's awesome. Houston is a great market. And none of the stuff I said was false. I actually do have family out in Houston, I promise. So there's a lot of benefit when you could use stories to your benefit. So use that as an advantage. And lastly, too, I want to address this comment from Mark. He said, great stuff, Ryan. Rarely have I used this strategy. 95% have been off market direct. Bought over 300 in Texas so far, many in Houston. I love that. That's amazing. And direct to seller means if I'm talking about time and money, you understand it 1,000,000%. the amount of time and money that goes into direct to seller with no guarantee is the same game I play over here without having to waste money. So I'm just calling through. And yep, everyone's commenting on the coffee virtually.
I love
My
it.
number one biggest pet peeve is when someone's like, let's go grab coffee or lunch. I mean this with all love, but there's no value in a free lunch from whoever it is that's just getting information taken or whatever collaboration done. I want to do coffee or grab coffee or lunch or whatever it is. Ideally coffee, it's faster, after we close the deal. And I have now been using the term virtually because if you want to go grab coffee, it doesn't make a difference if I make it in my house and we talk on the computer, or if I get in my car and waste 30 minutes driving there and spending an hour and then 30 minutes back.
So true.
Time is very much valuable.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, what a great point.
All right, let's keep it going. So Kathy, she'll call me back. We'll see, but it's fine. Keep it going.
Okay.
Austin.
Keller Williams, Curlake.
Hi, I was trying to find Austin. Is this the right number?
Keller Williams?
Yeah.
Curlake?
Yep.
Austin, let me see.
Was this the office line again?
Austin. Yes, it's office line. What's Austin's last name?
It was Jones, but if I called the office line, it's fine. Do you happen to have anybody in the office right now that works with buyers? I'm trying to purchase a property in Houston.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it right now.
Here can actually help you.
Let's just have fun with this one. Okay, yeah, I'm just I'm a newer investor and I'm not sure what I'm exactly doing yet. Trying to buy my first fix and flip.
Okay. Do you have a property in mind that you were wanting to purchase?
I don't have one yet. I was kind of hoping to talk to a realtor that could kind of assist me. That way I don't make a mistake.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I could probably just give you Austin's number, and that way you can communicate with him.
Okay.
Because I haven't dealt with any investors, and then so Austin's well.
And what was your name again?
My name is Jose.
Jose, awesome. Are you an agent at the office too?
Yes, sir, I am.
Very cool. You said you don't work with investors, or you do?
You know, I'm just starting off. I mean, I would love to. I just, don't know the whole deal about, ins and out about investing just yet. I haven't talked to any investors to.
Yeah, for sure. What do you do if you don't mind me asking? I'm newer myself.
So, pretty much. So, I guess, if you really had a property in mind, or just, had a price range in mind and an area in mind, I can help you out with that.
Gotcha. Yeah, honestly, I don't really have that figured out yet. Price point, I do. I mean, if it was under $1 million, we could do it comfortably under like 600,000. But location wise, I'm not really sure yet. We were just looking at using like a hard money lender to get started.
Okay. Well, I mean, so Austin would probably be a lot more informed than that. I mean,
Okay.
I'm just starting off. I've probably got like 5 months under my belt, but yeah. So
Cool.
Naturally, if somebody really had a property in mind, then I can, really assist them with that.
For sure. No, I understand that, and I appreciate the transparency. I'll call Austin and see if he could help me out, and if it doesn't work out, I'll give you a shout back.
All right, sounds good.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Can't even shit on that. Like, the dude's doing the best he can. He's being honest and open, and I respect it. All right. Calling Austin. I got his number.
Okay.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Damn. Well,
Just call Jose back.
Was that his name? Is it Jose?
I think it was Jose.
Okay. You always double dial in this case when it goes right to voicemail.
Your call has been.
Damn. All right. Austin was not meant to be.
It's not.
calling Caitlin. And don't worry, I'm going to make sure first time around I do not know what I'm doing. Rodney, I got you. Next one we get on the phone. These agents. I'm calling that second number on that just to see if it goes to.
Thank you for calling Reals Texas State.
Nope, not calling Real's office. Tanya Smith.
Hello.
Hi, I was looking for Tanya.
I'm sorry, you have the wrong number.
Gotcha. Okay, you're not a realtor in Houston.
No, I'm not. I'm a realtor, but not in Houston.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Pensacola, Florida.
Oh, in Florida. Okay. Well, guess I got the wrong number. I apologize.
That's okay.
Have a good one. Bye. What are the odds of that? That is crazy. You want to talk about like some crazy, stupid statistic
crazy.
about like how everyone is just a realtor? I called the wrong number and she was a realtor that was not the person I was calling in another state. That's so insane.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Calling Joseph. Joseph. There we go.
Thank you for calling Intera Realty. Press 1 for listing and disposition questions. Press 2 for broker support. Press 3 for other options.
Those options sucked.
Thank you for calling Intera Realty.
A lot of these Houston agents put their number as the office line, like almost, yeah,
And
that's
a lot
crazy.
of licensed real estate agents. Please press.
All right. What'd you say?
A lot of the, like, usually it isn't like this with our regular list of agents. Like it's with
It's
the
usually
office line.
they're like picking up and it's a cell.
Yeah,
but it's fine.
usually it is.
Honestly,
So it's interesting.
part of the benefit to this show being live without a script and not having anything planned is that people get to see that it's not all rainbows and butterflies. You know, I usually say that at least once during the session. The goal is that if you don't have the mental strength to be able to do this over and over and over again, you can find ways to make it easier. You could spend more money. Batch has a dialer. I mean, you could literally go and do it all in one. Do I recommend it? No, I don't recommend spending as much money as you possibly can. I recommend finding a way to do it as efficient as possible. And so the whole goal is for you to find something that you can stay consistent to. For me, if I'm doing this just in a 1 hour session for you guys, I can do it dialing off my cell phone all day, every day. My team typically has like a 2 or 3 line dialer that they're using just going through. But we only do that with our tier 1, tier 2 realtors. When they're tier 3, 4, 5, their cell phone, picking up the phone and calling just like this.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about, you know. If you don't, join our school. Bernardo.
Okay.
Just forwarded me to another line. Could tell that. Send me to your team. Send me to your team.
Thank you for calling Intera Real Estate Services.
Swear.
Sorry, we missed you.
Are they all at the same place? No. All right, keep it going.
Oh, those last. No. Oh, no.
I
it's
got
really
Derek, and
similar.
then I got a few more. We're good.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
The mailbox belonging to
If you're a realtor, your voicemail is full.
Really?
Can't even blame you. I get it. Just so busy closing deals at 10:30 at night. All right. Let's keep it going. Where
Derek
was
has
I?
probably missed out on some.
Did you send me another text?
Yeah,
Oh no,
there
that
should
one's
be
just
another group.
super long. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're calling
Is
Laura.
yeah, Laura. Okay.
You know what's funny is that we were actually going back and forth between even putting it up for a vote between Nashville and Houston. We were like, oh, last time we did Nashville, like people weren't answering. Like, let's just let people pick, and the luck of the odds will just be in our favor today. I did a training last week. I did a training last week in Agent Investors all about the top 5 markets I'd be looking into for next year. And Houston was actually number 1 on the list.
Oh, really?
So I was very excited to see everybody was commenting Houston. I was like, let's go. And here we are. So let's keep it going.
This is the second market this has ever happened in.
Second market. And it's honestly a shame because Nashville was the first. And then Houston, Texas is the second. Those are big markets.
Yeah,
so,
it's pretty.
Okay.
I've been surprised, so it's interesting.
Called Laura. I'm gonna call Ann.
Hello.
Hi, I was trying to find Ann. I don't know if I have the wrong number. I'm looking for a realtor in Houston.
Yes, you may have a wrong number.
Got you. No worries. Thanks. Just a gut instinct there was telling me that wasn't Ann. Did not sound like an Ann. I'm going to try this bottom number on that one, though.
Pro management to help you?
Hi, I was trying to get a hold of Ann. I'm not sure if I have the wrong number.
This is A24 management. Are you trying to contact an agent?
Yeah, I was trying to find an agent that could help me with purchasing a property.
Do you know the address of the property?
I don't have one in specific yet. I'm at the beginning stages of trying to figure out where to start.
Okay. Could I get your name, sir?
Yep, my name is Ryan, R-Y-A-N.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Last name too?
And your last name, please?
Yep, Zolin, Z-O-L-I-N.
And your phone number?
Yep, it's 480.
Do you know which area are you looking for?
I'm pretty flexible. I'm looking for something as an investment. I'm open to keeping it as a rental, but realistically, I'm looking to flip. This would be our first project out in Houston.
Okay. All righty. Let me go ahead and email out to the agents, and one of the agents will give you a call.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
So stupid. We're going to keep it going. I'm not getting off this live until we have a good call. So
Yeah, literally.
This is Amanda.
Hey, Amanda. My name is Ryan. I'm trying to find an agent that's located out in Houston.
I am one of them.
Awesome. Thank you. That's I just started calling through Zillow. I'm trying to buy my first flip, and I'm not sure exactly where to start, but I called a couple agents that popped up on there, and nobody's answered. You're actually the first person.
Oh, well, lucky me. I'm glad I like to answer my phone.
Right. I'm based in Arizona, but I'm trying to flip out in Houston. I've got most of our ducks in a row, contractors and title companies and all that stuff. But the missing piece is a realtor. I don't know what I don't know, and I would love to have some assistance with comping and all that stuff.
Okay. So tell me about the areas you're looking to invest in specifically. You're looking like the west side, south side of Houston.
Do you have a recommendation? Since I'm more virtual, I don't really have a preference. It would probably be more on the recommendation of you.
So I'm going to be very honest. It really depends on what you want your numbers to look like and how fast of a turnaround, what you're wanting your numbers to look like when you're ready to offset that property. So I always tell my investors, if you're wanting the most bang for your buck, you want to invest in our top 10 school districts.
Okay.
Those come at a higher cost, but they come with a bigger turnaround along with a faster turnaround instead of sitting on market longer.
are properties sitting right now?
Yeah, we do have properties that sit because they're not priced appropriately or they're in less desirable areas, meaning not the best school districts.
Yep.
So when you buy into these top districts and you flip them, depending on how much you're wanting,
Finally.
things like that,
God's good.
Market it
We're
right,
good.
and you don't overspend with your flip, we can offset that. We can get that property gone in 2 to 14 days to 30 days.
Wow. That's pretty
on
quick.
average. But we have to make sure we price you appropriately. If you overprice and try to go for that top dollar, it's going to wind up sitting for 45 to 60 days, and we'll have to price drop.
So you would recommend listing it probably a little bit less than what it's worth?
No, I don't recommend that. We want to run the numbers, crunch them, make sure they are appropriate, and you list what it's valued at. If a buyer feels that it's worth more, they're going to offer more.
Okay.
If they see the value in what you've brought to that property. It's also showcasing the before and the afters too.
Okay.
Because there's so many flippers that come out here, and I've seen it from time to time, where they come in, they do very minimal work, and they try to up it by 50 grand. And you've got to show where you put your work in. And a lot of times those properties, when you showcase what you've done and you explain to justify that price, they will pay more for it more often than not.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes complete sense to me. And so when you're talking those top 10 school districts, are they scattered around, or are they on one specific side of town?
They are scattered around. The majority of them, though, are on the west side.
Okay.
Teetering towards like the true west, teetering up towards the north. I'm happy to send you a list of our top 10 districts, what that looks like and things like that. But you need to be very aware. Most investors coming out of state do not understand we have the highest insurance rates in the country.
Don't worry about that. I'm coming from Florida, one of our markets, so I'm very familiar with high insurance costs. My reasoning for Houston was that we have some family friends there, and also family members that if I need something or just someone to walk a property, I don't need to waste anybody's time. I could just ask my family.
Fantastic.
And then aside from that, I really just want to make sure that I understand the process, and the realtor that I work with is not just going to leave me left hanging. So
correct. So I can tell you this, I have a partnership that I work with the company I'm with. We get a list of properties where they are looking to sell very quickly. They understand they're not going to get market value already. They just need to sell very fast. They're spread out all over the city and things like that. I can handpick.
Rodney, you want to play the game? Let's play the game.
We walk these properties to take them on, by the way.
And
we hold them in pocket.
Is that off market?
They are.
Okay, so are these?
The vast majority of them are off market. Some of them move to on market. And there's 5 of us on this team, so I have access not just to my list, but to theirs as well.
Okay, and I guess I'm just trying to understand, like, the person that's in this situation that's selling quick, are they, what's the wording? Are they wholesaling this, or are they?
No, this is not wholesaling. This is very different. This is going the non-traditional route if we can avoid it, meaning having us listed on the market and do home showings and open houses.
It's not wholesaling.
These are for people that
I wanted to play dumb, and I also want to see what they
had some kind of emergency from job loss, medical, or death in a family, and they need to sell the properties as quickly as possible to prevent foreclosure.
That sounds like that's exactly what we're looking for. That's a really tough situation for them, but if I could be a solution that is going to get them out of that situation fast. I've got a hard money lender out in Arizona where I'm located, as well as one that can do lending nationwide. We can use some of our capital or some of our family's capital or that hard money lender, but I'd be paying cash with this. So
I see, and that would be ideal in these situations, so we can move them, run numbers of comps, and some of them are in really bad shape, some are okay, and some are perfect condition. It's just going to vary, but that would be me handpicking, letting you know this is the best solution for this specific property. This one's going to cost you more, but if you do X, Y, Z, we could get it at this price and get it sold.
Sure.
So those are all things that I'm able to do, and I can work on getting the list. The problem with this, I don't know how familiar you are with all the changes. So we are signed in a listing agreement. We're signed in an agreement with them to be able to pocket list these. Meaning we send out the info. We want to make sure we get paid.
Here you go,
at the
Alfie.
end of the day,
Here's your breakdown.
So They will be signed in a contract. They cannot go and sell to you privately. Not saying you'll do that, but we do have investors that do that to us.
What do you mean? They go around you?
Yes.
Oh, that's
They'll go
shitty.
behind our backs. That's why you won't get a lot of phone calls back from other agents.
That's crazy. Yeah. No,
a lot of us won't work with them.
Well, I don't know how to reassure you on that other than just I'm a good human, but that's crazy. Whatever we need to do to make sure that that's not going to happen here, I'm happy to sign whatever we need to.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. All we require, it's a buyer's rep agreement that you're agreeing that whatever I send you, you're agreeing that if you decide to move forward with it, you're going to work with me. Now, we can do it for I would prefer not to do it for each individual property I send you because that's a lot of paperwork.
Sure.
Because I have a list. My list right now is 33 that I have off market.
Wow.
So I would hate to write an agreement for all 33.
For sure. Let me just ask you this. One of my family members is in real estate school right now, and they're going to be getting their license. They might be able to help me with finding a couple properties per year. Is that agreement that we're signing with you, is that exclusive, or was that just exclusive to the deals that you bring us?
So it is exclusive. So that's where that would get sticky. Right now, they're in school. They haven't started. They're not licensed. They haven't taken their course. Now, when that time comes, you can say, hey, Amanda, I'm going to let my family member work this side and this side to help them out. Or you can say, we're going to resolve our partnership. These are all the ones you brought to us. I'm agreeing that if I decide to move forward with these within the next 90 days, that I will pay you.
For sure.
But I understand that as an agent, that you want to help your family member out. I would let you out of your buyer's rep.
Okay.
But there would be the clause that, okay, well, I sent you this one.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I don't want to make you have to do that on every single address. So, I mean, what might even make sense, they're just about done with the real estate school, but I obviously know they still have to pass the test and pay all their stuff. Maybe what we could do then, I'm trying to buy something within the next 60 days. It doesn't need to be before the end of the year. But maybe what we could do is on that list of properties, one of the options might be if you see anything that might make too much sense to flip, we could just do that paperwork on that one. Or if you wanted to do the exclusive, I'm fine with it. It doesn't make a difference to me. But my whole goal would be that you're not having to write up that paperwork for all 33 properties.
Yeah. So I would say let's start with an exclusive. And what I would do to be courteous of your time and your relationship with your family member is that we only do it for 30 days at a time.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that makes complete sense for me.
Correct. And then your family member later on, and we can work this out as
Ronnie, don't worry. I got plans.
Your family member may decide, well, I don't want to work this area at all. And I can be your exclusive agent for just that particular side.
That makes sense. And also too, I mean, while it's my family and I want to help them, if you and I are doing a bunch of deals together, I mean, I don't mind keeping that just the agreement that it is. They would completely understand. I just would want to help them while they're starting off, but I'm also very loyal. So if I can find someone that brings us deals consistently, I am very much open on building that relationship.
Correct. And I will tell you this, if you work deals with him and it's not
30-day or exclusive is not bad. That's not terrible.
Plain and simple. Because if I didn't bring you the property to begin with, that's his commission, not mine.
For sure. That's what I just want to make sure of. That was one of the questions that they had asked me was if I were to go talk to another realtor just to make sure that they could still bring me stuff and get paid on it.
Absolutely. And it's a trust thing between us. Because obviously I'm not going to know what he's brought you. Just be like, hey, I'm so sorry, but she brought us this.
Their plan, just to give you context, I have nothing to hide. They were just going to set me up on a search. And so if they were to write an offer or two throughout the week, that was going to be their plan. Aside from that, what I'm really looking for is someone that I could be a little more exclusive with, that most importantly, let me show you that I'm serious and I'm looking to buy. And then also too, hopefully you can bring us something that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm okay with that because I appreciate transparency.
There it is.
Plain and simple. So that would be fine with me. I'd be willing to work around that and we can figure that out as we develop and as we go. Because right now it's not an issue, but when it comes up,
for sure. And you'll be the first person I call to let know that they got it. I mean, just as well as I do, they may not pass the test. So
correct. Because ours is actually the hardest one in Texas. The national part's easy. The Texas one is very hard.
For sure.
A lot of agents don't pass until their third or fourth time.
For sure. Is there anything that I need to keep an eye out on aside from the insurance cost? Is there any additional fees or anything that pops up?
So it varies. Some parts in Houston have a mud tax, some have a PID, and some have a PUD. So that's going to be me doing my due diligence up front and saying, hey, this one doesn't just come with the tax rate and the cost of an estimated insurance of 1.7 or whatever it may be, or you may be required to carry flood depending on how it's zoned. Along with the fact that if it's most of us are in a mud, that's an additional taxing for the water districts here for our plumbing and sewage and things like that. Okay. So that's an additional tax that will all be presented to you before you ever go under contract, so you know what you're getting yourself into.
Okay. And is that all through you, or is that public information somewhere? Or?
It's all through me. Most consumers don't know how to find it.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
It's really hard for us to find it sometimes. Sometimes we have to go straight to that taxing authority, or then to their attorneys to get it. That also being said, it also depends if the house is an HOA, what type of HOA it is, and if it charges additional fees, either monthly, quarterly, or just annually.
Yep.
Or if they have cap fees.
Yeah.
So it's all about doing all that due diligence up front sometimes. And sometimes we don't even know until we're 2 weeks in under contract that there's a cap fee of like 1%. But sometimes if I know that there's possibly one, I'm going to warn you.
Okay. I appreciate that. And with all that considered and the fees and stuff, do you think that there's still opportunity to fix and flip? And I don't know. I guess some of the stuff I was seeing is like we should be trying to aim around like 10% of what we could sell it for profit. Do you think that's realistic?
It is very realistic. And in some areas, you may actually be able to turn a higher profit.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the next steps?
The next steps are, I would just need you to text me your full name, your current address, whoever's going to be purchasing in the name for the contracts. I just need y'all's name for the buyer's rep.
Okay.
I would then kick it over to you. And then I would start sending you some exclusives that I have, like the list of 33. I'm going to go through them. I'll handpick a few, and I'll reach out to my other colleagues on that team and ask them what they have that would fit your criteria, because you're not looking for a full fixer upper.
No.
That's like needing a complete remodel.
Oh no, this will be our first out there. I want to do something that's more cosmetic, lipstick, probably in the top 10 school district, somewhere where you could really be someone I lean in on. And then from there, let's have you listed afterwards too.
Yeah, and that's something we can definitely work out on the back end as well. And, you know, we'll get it figured out. Even if I just help you purchase it and you're like, I'm going to let my family member list it, that's fine too.
Love it.
Right.
Okay.
We can really work this out to make it benefit both parties.
No, I really appreciate that. And I think there was a reason that you and I connected on the phone call. I don't need to make any more calls today. So I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Just shoot me that text with your email, current address, and names that are going to be on the contract.
It'll just be me. I guess that's my only other question. Does it make a difference if it's my name personally or if it's an LLC, or should I have an LLC lined up for this? What would you recommend?
So that is a loaded question in itself. So depending on how you want your taxes, that's a CPA question more than anything.
I guess legality. Do I need to have an LLC if I'm flipping?
You do not. Okay. You do not have to have one. It can be in your personal name. I would suggest for your first one, do it in your personal name. And then if you decide, you know what, this is going to work, this is fitting what I was hoping is going to pan out, I like doing this, then start your LLC for the tax benefits.
Got you. Okay. That makes complete sense. I'll send you over all my information. If there's anything additional that I'm missing or needing, just let me know. And I'll move quick. I mean, as soon as I have an address, I can get you a response within like 10, 15 minutes. I just need to run what I think are the numbers, and then I'll compare and contrast the notes that we have together.
Okay. And how quickly are you wanting to move this along?
You know, I mean, if I could buy something before the end of the year, I would love to. I like to move quick when I make decisions, but if I don't buy before the end of the year, January for sure.
Okay. That's kind of just what I needed to know how fast my pace needs to be as well.
Cool.
I don't believe in bombarding people.
No, I appreciate that very much.
Okay. So I will get you that list a little later today. I'll send you over the agreement and we'll just start for 30 days and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
No problem. Talk soon.
Bye. Let's throw a party.
So awesome. That's awesome. That's the type of call, you know, like in the beginning of today, it's like, we always have these great calls on this show. And then it's like, nobody's answering. That's exactly what we're talking about. That was too good.
I didn't come in there experienced. I didn't come in there saying I got this, that, the other all figured out. The family thing, the only part, I don't want to go to hell. My family's not in real estate school. Okay. I'm sorry. I had to follow along Rodney's request. I'm not blaming Rodney. It was my decision, but I don't have family in real estate school, but I do have family in Houston. So that was my little fib. Aside from that, I was using that as an example because I wanted people to know you can get around the exclusivity. You know, that's like one of the dumbest things I hear is like, oh, they want to be exclusive. And it's like, if they're bringing you fucking 50 deals a year, what are you complaining about? She has 33 pocket listings that she says I can make more than 10% of its ARV. And I'm worried about exclusivity. I should be looking for exclusivity with that. So that's the summary of why I said what I said there, just to make sure that was covered. The rest of it, she was amazing. She was exactly what I was looking for today. She has 33 pocket listings that are exclusively motivated sellers going to her exclusive investors that work with her. She's willing to sign 30-day exclusive agreements. She doesn't even care about the listings on the back end because she wants to do what's right in me and my best interest. And then aside from that, the last part, she told me where to look. She told me what to look out for. She had me write down things I didn't even know. I don't know what the hell a PID, PUD, mud tax. What I've done deals in Texas and I don't even know what this is. So I'm having conversations with her and she's teaching me while explaining things and breaking it down for me. It's exactly what you want.
She was amazing. She was super, like, with any question that you had. I loved how you were playing it off, being super new. Like, what'd you say? Something like, oh, should we list it for a little less than it's worth? And she was like, no, let me explain this. You know, I was like, she was so patient,
She
so
was
kind.
very, very good. And
She,
I was like,
yeah,
what was it
she was
called?
awesome.
Is this wholesaling? And she's like, no. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, but
You
she
hate
explained
wholesaling,
every
I hate
little part of
wholesaling.
it. So good. But she didn't come off at all like, I know all of this and you could never have all of this
She's
information, which is,
experienced.
yeah,
She,
very
like Alfie
experienced
said,
and so good.
that is the perfect comment. She is a pro. She is exactly who you want to work with. And by the way, out of just courtesy to myself and Landry, I'm also not going to waste time calling anybody else on that list. That was what I'm looking for. Every time I do these shows, it's to give at least one very good example so that when I say you should have 10, 15, 20 conversations in a market in a day, you should be able to do that consistently. And if one of them or 5 of them or 10 or 20 or however many it is end up being in the slightest bit just like that, let me ask you, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that a realtor that just asked me how fast paced I wanted to go is going to be someone that just sits on her hands and doesn't follow up with me? She even said she doesn't want to bombard me. She's a pro. So, Mark, I appreciate you. Join our school community stuff. And if you're already in there, just put a post out and we'll have someone send a DM or message you. Anyone that is in the Houston market or anyone in agent investors in that market, would love to have you guys do some deals with Amanda.
Oh yeah, let me show. Should I show real quick?
Yeah,
again?
of course.
Or, yeah, okay.
Of course. Posh said that was a masterclass. Appreciate that. Mark said 5 good agents like her, and you are golden. Absolutely. Yep, let's get that pulled back up. And then Rodney says, would you consider asking her for a list of properties that have been sitting for a while and then make lowball offers? Maybe, but she's probably not the one that's going to do it. She's got her stuff figured out. She doesn't need to go and spend time prospecting on stuff that is not all that serious. Meaning lowball offers on properties that are not selling because they're overpriced. When overpriced meets lowball, there's this tension wire that nobody discusses because it's what a lot of gurus teach to go and do. I send lowball offers too, but that's one of my 7 things I do in a day. And it's not even me. It's like my team doing it. So you just have to understand give and take. If you're looking for a serious relationship, a real buyer, a good opportunity, lowballing properties that are sitting is just throwing shit at a wall, seeing what sticks. Cool.
Let me just show you guys that I won't blur it here because it is, I don't need to blur it for what to do to get that great list. I will say I kind of skipped in the list a little bit because we've called some people in Houston before. So just FYI, you won't see that agent right at the top of the list, FYI. But if you go and you just type in where you want to go, like let's say Tampa, and I would say the 2 biggest filters that we use every single time are sold listing count and active listing count. Both of them, or this one we're going to do in the past 6 months, they've sold a minimum of 3 listings is typically what we do. And then they have at least 3 active right now. typically we've just found that these are, I mean, obviously not everybody in the beginning of today's call answered. And sometimes like that time in Nashville, people weren't answering, but for the most part, this has been a really solid list of really great agents that are for the most part available and are familiar with working with investors. Wouldn't you say like overall for the most part, Ryan?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. And I try not to be biased on this. I think you can make the argument that newer agents or some that are hungry, looking for business are always good, but 3+ for the sake of consistency on here, as well as more motivated and legit professional. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, just in general, I think it's kind of the same idea with those of you that go direct to seller. If you go and pull an absentee owner list of like 75,000 properties and you're like, okay, let's get to calling. It's kind of the same idea. You can make your list so much better, waste so much less time if you just narrow it down a little bit. So it's kind of the same idea with these agents. You could just pull the whole list of agents in Tampa, but
we've done that. Actually, what I recommend, this is something that comes from Batch's beginning stages. We stack data. So there's a lot of companies out there and free resources you could do that if you pull lists, you can stack it together to see if anything is on there twice. So that way I'm not adding anybody new. What I'm actually doing is just adding new realtors or new criteria. So that way I can add to the existing list and remove anybody that doesn't need to be there.
Love that. It's super valuable. Being able to do that in Batch is good.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Any other questions? I want to make sure before we hop off here, anyone that had a question, comment, takeaway from today, got it answered or acknowledged. As I'm going through last steps here, there it is. If you guys wanted a free 7-day trial, Landry, you're below me, but below Landry, batchleads.io/Zolin, you guys can get a 7-day free trial, test out the waters. I always like to say whenever the ability for you to dip your toes in the water to see if it's warm is presented, see if you want to go for a swim. You got nothing to lose. So 7-day free trial, you use that link right down there. And then also I mentioned school a few times. I've been keeping this low key. I don't want to make the announcement, I guess, entirely here. I've got some stuff to share inside Agent Investors exclusively, but we are in the top 30 of school communities overall on the entire platform. So I'm in the top 3 right now in all of real estate for the school platform. I don't know who the other 2 are. They aren't showing up, but right now we've blown this out of the water. So we have got one of the biggest school communities in the entire platform. We've got almost 4,000 people. I launched it in February of this year. I spend a lot of time and a lot of money every single month promoting, advertising, trying to bring awareness, not even with the intent to sell. If people are looking for a specific blueprint of Agent Investors, how to do what I just did with the script, with the flow, and how to actually close them, yes, I have all of the mentorship stuff that you need, but I try not to be the slimy, snaky guru guy. I'm just the guy that wears a snapback and I cuss a lot and I say why and reason in the same sentence. So if you guys are trying to figure out more about my strategy, just tip of the iceberg, the school.com is take it from my wording, but also take it from school. We're one of the best out there.
That's so cool.
Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys. Chris, love you, bro. Alfie, appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys have any questions, hit us up in the school. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Bye, guys.